The WWE locker room is silent, but the tension is deafening. The arena lights are dimmer. The air feels heavier. Because Roman Reigns is gone. And in his absence, a power vacuum has opened. A dangerous one. A sacred one. And at the center of it, Solo Sikoa has declared himself the true tribal chief. Not as a placeholder. Not as a stand-in. But as the rightful heir. The dominant leader. The new face of the bloodline. He's not whispering it anymore. He's shouting it. He's mocking the silence of Roman Reigns like a king standing over the corpse of the old emperor. And no one, not even Paul Heyman, is stepping forward to stop him. This isn't just a rebellion. It's a coup. And if the whispers coming out of WWE are to be believed, it might have been planned for months. Because according to insiders, Roman Reigns didn't just disappear. He was forced out. And Solo Sikoa is now taking a throne that was never his to begin with. But the real question is, where is Roman Reigns? And is Solo Sikoa ready for what happens when the real tribal chief comes back for his crown? Stay tuned, because this is the expose WWE never wanted you to see. It started with silence. Roman Reigns had survived everything. The boos, the cheers, the betrayals, the wars. For over 1,300 days, he sat atop WWE as the undisputed tribal chief. Every arena bowed to him. Every title run was bent to his will. But after SummerSlam, Roman vanished. No appearance. No backstage interview. No cryptic post on social media. Just silence. WWE gave no official reason. Commentary teams avoided the topic. Heyman, Roman's loyal wiseman, stopped referencing him on air. And suddenly, Roman's presence was just gone. But Solo Sikoa's presence? It exploded. No longer the silent enforcer, Solo began speaking for himself. Speaking loudly. Claiming, in no uncertain terms, that he was the tribal chief now. And it wasn't subtle. The smackdown that changed everything. 1 week after Reigns' disappearance, Solo entered the ring with new music, darker, more aggressive, dripping with Samoan war drums. He stood center stage, not flanked by Reigns or even Paul Heyman, but by Tama Tonga and Hikuleo. No words. Just a blood red lei draped across his shoulders, the symbol of the tribal chief. And then he said it. The island needs a new chief. Roman Reigns ain't here. But I am. The crowd didn't know whether to boo or gasp. But then came the moment that flipped the entire locker room on its head. Solo stared directly into the camera and said, "A real chief doesn't run when things get hard. A real chief doesn't hide. He fights. He bleeds. He conquers. That's what I do. I am the one now. I am the tribal chief." The disrespect wasn't just personal. It was spiritual. Backstage, sources say Paul Heyman was shaken. According to one production assistant who spoke under anonymity, Heyman didn't blink for 5 minutes after Solo's promo. When asked by Triple H whether this was part of the script, Heyman reportedly said, "I have no control over him anymore." Another WWE insider revealed that Heyman had begged Solo not to go forward with the segment. He'd reportedly called Roman Reigns earlier that day, but the call went straight to voicemail. And that's when the rumors started. Had Roman Reigns been betrayed? Was this entire thing a setup? One locker room member told Fightful Select that Solo had been growing increasingly frustrated backstage. He wanted more TV time. He wanted to speak. He felt Roman was holding him back, and that Heyman was just a gatekeeper. Another talent added, Solo's been working with Tama and Hikuleo behind the scenes since before SummerSlam. People thought they were just visiting family. But now, it looks like they were plotting something bigger. And then came the mockery. Solo didn't stop at declaring himself the new tribal chief. The following week, he walked out with Roman's old entrance cloak. The same one Reigns wore at Clash at the Castle. Draped over his shoulders like a trophy. A cruel reminder. He threw up the one in the air, but did it backwards. An inverted symbol. A twisted message. I'm not his one. I'm the one. And then, he smashed Roman's ceremonial Samoan necklace in the center of the ring. Piece by piece. Live on television. The commentary team was silent. Michael Cole's voice cracked. Corey Graves just said, "I don't know what's happening anymore." It was a funeral for Roman Reigns, while he was still alive. WWE fans were stunned. But insiders weren't. According to one former writer, this turn was being teased months ago. Look at Solo's body language at WrestleMania. He was already pulling away. Already giving Roman side eyes. It was subtle. But it was there. Another source confirmed that Roman had been battling real-life fatigue and injury. That he wanted time off after SummerSlam. But he didn't expect to be erased. Because that's exactly what Solo is doing now. He's not just taking Roman's place. He's deleting him from the Bloodline legacy. But the Bloodline isn't unified behind Solo either. Jey Uso has remained eerily silent, refusing to comment publicly. But he posted a single broken red blood emoji on Instagram after Solo's "I'm the Tribal Chief now" promo. Jimmy Uso, who had previously aligned with Solo, is rumored to be furious about the shift. A source close to creative says Jimmy was never told Solo would go this far, and now WWE is trying to figure out where his allegiance truly lies. Even Paul Heyman, once the master manipulator, has been reduced to a bystander. On the most recent SmackDown, Heyman stood at the top of the ramp during Solo's entrance. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. And as Solo passed him, he didn't even look at him. The camera caught it. The WWE Universe noticed. Heyman may be afraid. But where is Roman Reigns? That's the question burning a hole through WWE programming. No messages. No appearances. No cryptic QR codes. Nothing. The Bloodline's own creator has been disappeared by the faction he built. But some believe this silence is strategic. Roman doesn't speak until the moment matters, one backstage source said. He's not gone. He's watching. And when he comes back, it's going to be war. Others believe it's too late. That Roman's grip on the Bloodline has already slipped too far. Because Solo isn't just mocking Roman. He's replacing him. At live events, Solo now walks out last. He raises the Universal Championship, not even his, and stares at it like it belongs to him. WWE production teams have removed Roman's face from digital banners in several arenas. And during one untelevised promo, Solo ended his segment with 3 words. Acknowledge me. Now. This isn't a storyline anymore. It's a succession battle. The Bloodline is split into factions. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Hikuleo, and now possibly Tanga Loa, forming a new Samoan dynasty, built on raw aggression and ruthless power. Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, uncertain, torn between family and loyalty, waiting for a sign. Paul Heyman, silent, paralyzed, caught between 2 kings. And Roman Reigns? Missing. But maybe not for long. Because if history has taught us anything about the tribal chief, it's that he doesn't fall without fighting. And if Solo Sikoa wants to wear the crown, he better be ready to bleed for it. Because Roman Reigns built the Bloodline. He defined it. And he may now have to destroy it. But what if this isn't just about ambition? What if Solo Sikoa's declaration as tribal chief is more than opportunistic? What if it was personal? Because beneath the chants, behind the cameras, and hidden within the very bones of the Anoa'i family history, there's something more sinister brewing. Sources close to WWE Creative have begun leaking subtle whispers. Solo believes Roman Reigns is no longer fit to be tribal chief. Not because of age. Not because of injury. But because Roman, in Solo's eyes, broke the code. The Bloodline code. Family above everything. Loyalty to the island. protection of heritage. But Solo saw something shift in Roman. He saw the selfishness, the glory chasing, the obsession with gold over blood. And that's when the resentment began. "He stopped fighting for us," Solo allegedly told an unnamed locker room member. "He started fighting for himself." And from that seed of resentment grew rebellion. Solo Sikoa's rise was never random. From the moment he debuted at Clash at the Castle to save Roman's title, Solo was placed as the silent one. The enforcer. The bodyguard. The muscle. But silence breeds observation. And Solo, backstage, was watching everything. He saw how Roman treated Jay and Jimmy like pawns. He saw how Paul Heyman whispered lies and schemes behind everyone's backs. He saw how Roman always took credit, but never responsibility. He watched Roman manipulate his own family week after week, one ex-WWE producer said. He took notes. He learned. And then he waited for the perfect moment. SummerSlam 2025. Roman Reigns loses. Solo walks out of the shadows. And everything changes. The mystery of SummerSlam. It's no coincidence that Roman Reigns vanished immediately after losing at SummerSlam. Insiders now suggest that Roman's defeat may have been the trigger. Roman didn't take the loss well, one backstage source said. He didn't speak to anyone. He left the arena without saying a word. Some say he was blindsided. Others say he was escorted out by security due to a heated confrontation with Solo backstage. No cameras caught it. No phones leaked it. But what we do know is this. Within 48 hours, Solo posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "Time for a real chief to lead." Then he unfollowed Roman Reigns. And Paul Heyman. And WWE's official Bloodline account. It was no longer symbolism. It was war. What happens to the Usos now? Caught between loyalty and survival, Jay and Jimmy Uso have gone radio silent. But their absence from Solo's new faction has not gone unnoticed. During Solo's most recent SmackDown promo, he referenced his brothers without naming them. "They had their chance to stand with me. They chose the past. I choose the future." Jey Uso posted a single image on his Instagram story, a lion walking alone across an empty desert, with no caption. Jimmy posted nothing at all. But during a recent house show, both Usos were seen arriving late and leaving early, avoiding contact with both Heyman and Solo. Some believe WWE is preparing a civil war between the Usos and Solo's faction, a war that could tear the Anoa'i family apart permanently. One question remains: where will Roman Reigns fall in this war? Will he return to unite his brothers? Or will he punish them all for letting the bloodline fracture in his absence? Paul Heyman, the wise man, or the traitor? Then there's Paul Heyman, the man who built the empire, and may now be watching it crumble. In the last 2 weeks, Heyman has spoken less and less. His hands shake during promos. He stutters when addressing the camera. And when asked about Roman Reigns, he says nothing at all. But behind the curtain, there's chatter that Heyman is terrified. Terrified of Solo. Terrified of what happens if Roman comes back. Terrified of being caught between two gods. Paul always plays both sides, said a former writer. But this time, there may be no safe side to stand on. Because Solo doesn't need a wise man. He needs a witness. Someone to testify when the old chief falls, and the new one takes his place by force. Solo Sikoa's bloodline is not about family. It's about domination. With Tama Tonga, Hikuleo, and the possible addition of Tanga Loa, Solo is forming a faction that isn't built on respect, it's built on fear. There are no handshakes. No oaths. Just orders and destruction. And it's working. The faction has taken out 3 top superstars in 2 weeks. They've jumped Kevin Owens backstage. They've assaulted Sami Zayn mid-match. They even sent a warning to Cody Rhodes, throwing his weight belt into the fire live on Raw. This isn't about Roman anymore. This is about Solo Sikoa taking WWE hostage. And the only man who can stop it is the one man who hasn't spoken a word. The return of Roman Reigns is inevitable. And it will be biblical. Because Roman doesn't forgive. Roman doesn't forget. And when he returns, he won't come alone. Expect to see the seeds of a massive clash take root. One that could bring back Jacob Fatu, Zilla Fatu, or even Naomi to counterbalance Solo's new war machine. Expect blood. Expect betrayal. Expect a collision that may change the power structure of WWE forever. Solo Sikoa has lit a fire he may not be able to control. He's mocked the tribal chief. He's stolen the symbols. He's taken the spotlight. But what happens when the real tribal chief steps out of the shadows? When the god of this island comes home? Will Solo Sikoa survive the wrath of the man he tried to bury? Or has WWE already crowned its new king? The storm is coming. And Roman Reigns is the thunder. But here's the terrifying part that no one inside WWE wants to admit publicly. Solo Sikoa isn't afraid. Not of Roman's return. Not of the WWE Universe turning on him. Not of Heyman, the Usos, or even Triple H himself. Because Solo doesn't see himself as a villain. He sees himself as the liberator of the bloodline. He believes Roman Reigns has corrupted the family. That the gold poisoned his mind. That the head of the table turned the bloodline into a kingdom of ego, manipulation, and fear. So now, Solo isn't just taking the tribal chief title. He's purifying it. Rebuilding the bloodline in his own image, untamed, primal, and brutal. In a backstage segment aired on YouTube but cut from broadcast, Solo was recorded saying one line that chilled fans to the bone. Roman sat on the throne. I'll build a new one from his bones. The Samoan Civil War is here. And WWE knows it. They've started preparing a Bloodline, War Chamber Premium live event. Internally, WWE officials are considering this the most important storyline since the rise of the Shield. Why? Because the Anoa'i Civil War isn't just a storyline, it's real family. Real tradition. Real stakes. This is a legacy war. The stakes go far beyond the undisputed championship. What's at risk now is the right to lead the family. The future of the Bloodline brand. The question of who the WWE Universe will acknowledge. And looming in the background is something even darker. Is Jacob Fatu coming? Because if Solo Sikoa is building his own empire, and Roman Reigns is planning a return, who bridges the gap between them? Multiple insiders have confirmed that Jacob Fatu, the most dangerous man in the Samoan dynasty, has been in secret talks with WWE Creative. And what's more, he's not picking sides. Sources say that if Jacob Fatu arrives, he's not coming to back up Solo or Roman. He's coming to take it all. This could be WWE's biggest blood feud since the Shield imploded. And it's already brewing with eerie precision. Solo Sikoa, with his quiet wrath and dominant presence, has slowly erased every trace of Roman Reigns from weekly television. He's changed the graphics. He's hijacked the opening packages. He's even refused to mention Roman's name directly, instead referring to him as the old chief. Psychologically, this is strategic. It's not just an insult, it's an erasure. He's deleting Roman from history before he even gets a chance to return. But there's one problem. Roman Reigns is too big to delete. Because no matter how many times Solo claims to be the new tribal chief, there's still that lingering echo in every WWE arena. We want Roman. Heyman knows what's coming. And behind those trembling hands and bloodshot eyes, there's calculation. Because Paul Heyman isn't just a manager. He's a chess master. And now, he's quietly seeding the path for Roman's return. In a segment caught only by eagle-eyed fans at a recent SmackDown taping, Heyman was seen holding a sealed envelope. One he didn't open. One he tucked into his coat after watching Solo demolish another opponent. What's in the envelope? Nobody knows. But some speculate it contains the final contract, the official documentation that ends Roman's title reign, or signals his return. Others believe it's a will, an edict from Roman Reigns passed before his disappearance. One that could expose Solo's betrayal with devastating consequences. Either way, Paul Heyman is planning something. And when he moves, everything shifts. Meanwhile, in the shadows, Roman Reigns waits. It's not a question of if he returns. It's when. Because Roman Reigns doesn't just walk back into WWE like everyone else. He orchestrates moments. He creates seismic shifts. And if the leaks are true, WWE is planning a return of the Chief episode, one that could rival John Cena's 2021 return or even the CM Punk pop of 2023. The plan? Lights out. Silence. A single heartbeat thump. And then, acknowledge me. The crowd erupts. Roman walks out. No smile. No pyro. Just fury. And then comes the collision. Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa. Face to face. Brother versus brother. Blood versus blood. One claiming legacy. The other demanding power. And in the middle, Heyman, trembling. What comes next could define WWE for the next decade. Because this is more than a title feud. This is succession. Will Solo Sikoa continue to burn down the bloodline? Will Jay and Jimmy take sides, or take each other out? Will Heyman survive the fallout? And most terrifying of all, what happens if Roman Reigns decides Solo Sikoa must be exiled, permanently? Because Roman Reigns isn't just returning for revenge. He's returning to make an example. And Solo Sikoa, no matter how bold, no matter how ruthless, has one fatal flaw. He forgot who built the table. There's a storm coming to WWE, and Solo Sikoa might not be ready for the reckoning. Because behind every smirk he throws at the camera, behind every stomp on Roman's legacy, there's a ticking clock. And when that clock runs out, it won't just be a return. It will be a reckoning. Roman Reigns didn't become the tribal chief by accident. He rose through pain. Through betrayal. Through war. And now, he's about to remind everyone, including Solo Sikoa, why you don't challenge the bloodline without consequences. Whispers of exile. According to confidential WWE insiders, Roman Reigns' return arc is being designed not as a redemption story, but as a judgment. This won't be a tearful family reunion. This will be a blood sacrifice. A ceremonial execution of betrayal. Creative documents suggest a planned trial of Solo Sikoa segment, echoing the dramatic Usos segment from 2023, but with a much darker twist. Here's how it could unfold. Roman returns unannounced and interrupts a solo promo. The crowd goes nuclear. No words. Just a slow, calculated walk to the ring. Roman circles Solo. Eye to eye. Dead silence. Then, the microphone lifts. You were never the heir. You were the warning. Solo doesn't back down. In fact, some sources believe Solo Sikoa is pushing for a full-on tribal battle, an unsanctioned, island ritual-style match at the next major PLE. WWE has reportedly filed trademarks around an event called Battle for the Island, and internal pitches have included tribal war drums around the ring,